what we're going to do is learn HTML, and while we're learning HTML, we're going to pretend that we're going to prepare for a business interview, and the future employer wants to know a little bit more about our personal side along with our professional side. So to show a little bit more about our personal side, we're going to show him one of our favorite hobbies. And so we're going to focus this website around one hobby that you have. Now don't choose something like watching TV. Instead, choose something that's a little bit more marketable, like watching documentaries and critiquing them. That's a little bit more advantageous for you in getting a job. So on this site, what we're going to do is, let me show you just a brief layout design. You're going to choose a banner, okay? And this banner is going to take up like this space right here. And that's going to be a picture right there. Underneath this picture, we're going to have a creative title below that, okay? For this title, you're not going to just put like your my hobby, or if you like to do photography, like my hobby, photography. No, that's too boring and that won't get you a job. I really like one of my students' examples. She did something with photography. Her title was Capturing a Shot of the World. And notice she has her banner up there like I just showed you guys. So capturing a shot of the world is a really good idea for that. So we can go in here and then I would write in capturing a shot of the world. And of course this would be typed into your HTML. And you would use the H1 heading because I want you to be able to use that heading. Okay, so I want you to create a banner at the top that has a photo that describes kind of like something that is related to the hobby that you are doing. And create a title that's not direct, not like my hobby, photography, not a boring title. Something like Capturing a Shot of the World. Something that's indirect and a creative title. Now, for your image at the top, there's a lot of different things you can do. You could create your own image. Like you could open up Illustrator or Photoshop, create your own in there. You could take one of your photographs that you made and use that. If you really don't have any photographs, you could go into Flickr. If you go into Flickr, do a Google search and type in Flickr copyright free, because we want to use copyright free images that people don't have rights on, and you'll see the Creative Commons area. And in Creative Commons you can do a search for various photos that you'd like. Now there's different types of photos, and just read on the right what they are. But you can do a search and use those and just give credit to that person. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, after we create our title, we're going to put a few links here. So I'll just put link 1, and then I'll put link 2, and I'll put link 3. And later I'll be telling you what those links are. Then we're going to be putting a horizontal line, and then you're going to be putting some information about your hobby in this area. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So you should have open TextEdit. So I'm going to open TextEdit for Mac. If you're using a PC, you can use Notepad. Now the first thing you should do when you open your editor here, first thing you should do is hit Shift-Command-T. Notice right here you have this, it's called a text-rich editor. We do not want it to be a text-rich editor. Okay. Instead, we should take out the text-rich and just have it as an editor. In Windows, it's similar to WordPad is text-rich and Notepad is not. Okay. That means the styles and formats, you won't have any in a non-text-rich editor. So Shift-Command-T takes off that bar and becomes it's not a text-rich editor anymore. So first tag is HTML, and I'll zoom in so you can see that. So start all web pages with HTML, and you do. What does HTML stand for? Yes, Hypertext Markup Language. And next we go what? Head. And next is title. and we're going to do this title, Mr. Heil's hobby. I'll just use photography since I like photography. No, this is not your title of your site. Where will this show up?
On the bar.
Yes, in the navigation bar. So if I switch over to, let's say, Firefox, notice on the left side, see all these names of the sites I have? That's what will show up, okay, for this. So on Flickr, notice it's called Flickr Creative Commons. That's the title of the page, but not necessarily the physical page on the body, okay? So the reason why I wanted to do it differently is so you can see the difference in that. Okay, so we got the page title, but not for the body. I'm going to close my tag right there, and then I'm going to put in body. So whatever is after body is going to appear in your page. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to insert an image, and this is going to be img space src. Okay, that's image source equals, and then put the quotation mark. Now let's go ahead and get our image here. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and use this image. Now you'll want to make it the size that you want it to be for your banner. You can resize it in HTML using the HTML code, but it's kind of tedious. So it's better to just get the image that you want right away. But make sure it doesn't get pixelated. So I'm going to hit Command-Shift-4, and then I'm going to do a banner size. Okay, I really want you guys to use banner sizes only. That means something like this. You could choose something like that, small or thin or bigger. You can choose. But don't make something more squarish like that. It should be more banner size. Okay? So I'm going to use something like right about there. I'm going to use that. Okay, I took a snapshot of it. Now it's on my desktop. It's picture 1. I'm going to rename picture 1. I'm going to hit call this shot or me shot, so I know. Now when you name a picture file, you want to make sure it's all one word. You don't want it with a space here, because it's really hard to name a file if it has a space. If you have to do a space, do underscore, me underscore shot. Okay, but I usually never use spaces, and I'll usually capitalize something, so me capitalize shot, so I can see it better. And that was a PNG file that I just made. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. Now I have my image source. But whenever you make a new website, you need to put it inside a folder. So let's go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder your username. So let's just pretend I'm in Computer Applications 5, CA5, and then I'm Mr. Heil. And I'll graduate in 2011, because that's when I'll graduate from my PhD and finally be done. So I'm going to take me shot and drag it into that folder, and then I have that inside my folder. I'm going to create another folder called images, so it's well organized, and then drag that in there. Now if we upload this folder to a server and to launch on a website, remember, your server is going to look for a HTML file called index. If it doesn't find index, you won't have a home page. So we need a home page, and that's what this is going to be. So we're going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it inside that folder that we just created. So we're going to go up here and go into that folder, and then we're going to call this index.html. And I'm going to go ahead and choose Western Mac and hit Save. And yes, use HTML is good, and so we're good with that. I'm going to come up here. So now I have index. So now my site will work. I'm going to double click to see what it looks like. And there we go. See Mr. Heil's hobby. And now we're going to make this page right here.